Thinking about procrastinating, not going to sleep, and playing some D&D? Well, we here at the Nat Chaos Podcast think that's a perfect idea. Sometimes. Join us in our modern world adventure filled with magical booze, music that opens a portal to hell, and chaotic life choices. We release episodes every week at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Find Nat Chaos wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Christmas and Chill. Tonight, it's myself, Josh, and I'm here with Maddie and Amy. Ladies, how are we?
We're really good, I think.
Yeah, I'm also really good.
Yeah? What have you guys been up to today? Why are we really good?
Because we just finished watching a movie called Nativity, and it was a really good movie.
It was a really good movie. It's just so Amy, Maddie? Am I right in saying Amy's the only one that's watched this movie beforehand?
Yes, I have not seen this movie before.
Okay, cool. Yes, look, we might as well jump into it because all three of us really love this film.
I forgot to tell you about my COVID test, guys.
Oh, of
yes.
course. I'm sorry. Please, how was your COVID test?
Life-changing. I don't really think you've had the full 2020 experience if you didn't get tested for COVID.
Yes.
That cotton bud going up your nose is interesting.
Yes, it is interesting.
Could you feel it in your brain?
No, because it goes down the back of your throat, not to your brain. That's not how a nose works.
Well, I mean, hey, I'm not the OT here.
Amy, please explain to us how it works. We are mere art students.
Well, yeah, I mean, the nose doesn't go up to the brain; it goes to the back of your throat. I'm
smart. I could do OT.
Things? There's like two things. I've seen like two videos. One where like someone's like, I don't know if they ate the pasta and then they could take it out their nose, or it was the other way around. And then the other one was they put their headphones up their nose and then opened their mouth and the music came out.
There was a challenge on YouTube where they like snorted a condom and like it came out the back of their throat.
Right, so Christmas movie. Far out. This is why we don't let Maddie talk about things.
Well, I'm pretty sure I brought it.
That was Amy who started that. I'm just adding to the anecdotes.
Oh my god. Cool. All right. Enough about that. Let's talk about the movie. So Nativity. It's probably. I'm going to go out on a limb. I could be wrong here, but I don't think it's one of the more well-known Christmas movies out there.
No, I don't think so.
No, I'd never heard of it until Amy mentioned it.
Yeah. So it's a British-based film, and I guess a lot of American films that we watch are US-based, right? Like, I'm trying to think. Has anything that we've watched so far come out of Europe or England?
No.
I don't think... Luke and I were talking about this last night, and I don't think so. And I actually think that Nativity 1 and 2 are the only British films we're watching the whole thing.
Is Love Actually classed as a British film?
Yes. Yes, I would say it is, isn't it? It's got mostly British actors.
Yeah. But I don't think many are. That would potentially be the only other one. But yeah, I'm just having a bit of a look. The Nativity was 2009, so like 11 years ago now.
It's aged pretty well. It didn't seem like a 2009 movie.
No.
No, not at all. So impressions of this film, Maddie, what do you think? So let's kick it off with you. What did you think about the film?
I really loved it. I loved the story of it. I liked how I almost cried. Like, every time the movie got sad. It was such a
same.
it was such a Polar Express roller coaster ride for me. Like there were so many roller coasters up and down. Like I think I remember reading about like Everybody Loves Raymond. There's a moment in that show where they call it an elevator drop. So like the mood shifts completely, but then they bring the elevator up right back. And that was what it was, you know what I mean? They had the sad moments, and then straight after it was hilarious.
Yeah.
So you couldn't be sad for too long. You were just enjoying the movie.
Yeah, definitely. Amy, what were your thoughts on this movie? Is this the second time you've watched it?
Yes, but I don't really remember the first time watching it. But yeah, I feel like maybe it's because it's got a group, like kids in it, and you just relate, and you just like, I love these kids, so of course I'm going to like get involved and like get sad at the sad bits and like, I mean, especially the blonde kid with the spiky hair, the one who loved doing Michael Jackson.
That
The
if
best.
Josh was a character, Josh would be that character. Get in.
That kid was the best. Yeah, no, fantastic. There was were there any other kids that stood out?
Ollie's story was really cute about his mum
Yes.
never coming to see him perform and everything.
It was very nice, wasn't it?
Me and Josh were talking about this. Like, did you ever do any like plays or like RE stuff at primary school, Amy?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, because Josh was talking about how he was in a nativity play when he was younger. And then I was talking about how we were forced to do RE in primary school. And I just remember singing all the songs and stuff like that. So it was kind of nostalgic,
Yes.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Being a kid again and like that experience of Christmas and the joy.
Yes.
It was it's definitely something I noticed that this film, I think it relied a lot on nostalgia, but not based on the fact that you've watched the film before, but based on the fact that you've kind of gone through that as a kid, maybe. Or you've known someone that's done a play, or if you're a parent, you've got kids that have done a play like this. Like, it's an incredibly relatable film in that aspect.
Yeah.
Martin Freeman is the main character. What do we think of Martin Freeman? I thought he was fantastic.
I did.
I just realised he's also in Love Actually. So he might be the Christmas superstar of this runner-up to Tim Allen.
Well, I was going to say, are there any other actors who appear in more than one Christmas franchise? Tim Allen does, doesn't he? With Christmas and the Cranks.
Christmas of the Cranks. He's also in the Santa Claus. Basically the same character. Is Tom Hanks in any more Christmas movies?
God, hope not. Oh, man.
Yeah, keep going about Martin Freeman, sorry.
Well, no, I just wanted to get your opinions. Like the dynamic between him and the teacher's aide. What do we think of those two?
They were really funny.
Yeah, they were.
I thought Mr. Poppy's character, he was a bit like Russell Brand. Yeah. That really like childish humour, like really funny. But even Josh was like, he looks like Eddie Perfect from Offspring. It was like a combination of the two,
does.
which is pretty perfect. But it complemented Martin Freeman's character of being really cynical with this really childlike figure.
Yeah, I think his character kind of like brought the childness out of the other guy.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, exactly. It was
Showed
kind of
him
like
how to
he
be a
was
child and how to be happy and
Yeah.
believe in
Yeah.
that Christmas magic.
There were so many like moments where I laughed out loud during this film. Like, and it was a lot of the time it was the dynamic between Mr. Poppy and the teacher, Martin Freeman's character. Especially when they're in the house and he's calling his ex in America.
I love you.
And then he says, "Love you" at the end. And they're yelling at each other. He's like, "What are you doing in my house?
Get out of my house.
Or what about when he's at his ex-partner's parents' house? Like, what the fuck are you doing there? How did
With
you
the
get
dog.
there?
Cracking the dog.
Yeah, because he told them that he blew the dog up.
Oh, very funny. Amy, I have a fun fact for you. I'm not sure if you knew this, but most of the movie is improvised.
My dad was wondering that. He was like, I reckon they just said to the kids, do whatever the hell you want, and that's what you got.
Yeah, apparently they had a loose outline of what was going to happen in the scene, but they kind of just improvised all the lines and stuff, which makes it funnier.
And which definitely makes it feel more natural as well.
Yeah, definitely.
It almost actually felt like what had happened is they'd just brought a video camera into a school and was just like, let's film the kids, like, practice and perform this nativity scene. Like,
yeah. Oh, it was so good. I want to talk a bit more about doing plays as a kid. Manny, you mentioned before that kind of, that it reminds you of doing plays as a kid. I think that what makes this movie so good is that it is kind of more of it's almost more of a theatre show than a movie in a lot of aspects. Like it's like, especially the like putting aside the fact that they actually perform the show on stage throughout, but it almost feels like a pantomime. It's very like it broadcasts what's coming up next. It shows all the humour. There's nothing subtle to it. It's very out in the open. Yeah. What do you guys think? Do you think that part of the reason that we enjoyed it so much is because it didn't feel like a movie? Does that make sense?
And also, I feel like it didn't feel forced. Like, I was talking to Dad after the movie, and we were saying, like, an American movie would never look like this. Like,
100%.
Like, it's very a British or even like an Australian type of movie where it's just like, oh, we'll chuck some people in there, we'll film it and just see what happens. Whereas I feel like in America, it's like, here's the script, you have to follow the script, and if you go off the script, then the movie's going to be shit.
Yeah.
Like, as a drama student myself, I'm sure you can attest to this, Josh, acting for the camera is so much different to theatre. You know what I mean? Theatre can be so much more naturalistic and easy to do compared to being in front of a camera.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think a lot of British actors are trained to be theatre performers before they go on to be proper film actors, which makes it more easy and fun to follow along with.
Yeah, and I definitely think that came out with a lot of the actors' performance, like Pam Ferris and Martin Freeman.
Yes.
Like, they were, like, you can tell they've definitely done a lot of theatre and stage acting before, because it's just a difference between that really manufactured Hollywood style of movie where everything's almost perfect to the point where it's like too perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this felt more real. Like you mentioned before, it's like they just took a camcorder into a school and just hit record.
They say you should never work with animals or children, and they worked with both and they did it so perfectly.
Oh, yeah, no, it was absolutely fantastic. Another thing that we were talking about while watching this movie, this is the first Christmas movie that we've come across so far that hasn't included Santa Claus.
Like the idea of Christmas being Santa Claus.
This focuses around, I guess, the other side of Christmas to do with the nativity scene with Joseph and Mary and Jesus, following a really kind of Catholic Christian kind of mentality. How do you think it fared compared to the other Christmas films that we've watched? Do you enjoy this story more?
I would almost say that this movie tonight is almost like the movie that I've enjoyed the most out of all the movies. Like, I don't know if you guys think the same, but
yeah.
And I don't know if that's because it went down a whole different route as all the other movies, or it's just because of the way it was filmed and all the kids and stuff. But yeah, I think tonight was the most like enjoyment I've had.
I felt it was the most heartfelt as well. Like, I was very emotionally driven by the movie. The happy parts and the sad parts.
Do you think that because Santa Claus isn't the focus, that it actually allows adults and grown-ups to invest in the story more?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it is focused around that nativity scene, and that's something that's kind of universal. It's not child specific.
It's focused on Christmas as a whole rather than
Yeah.
just the Santa part of Christmas.
The magic, and it's not so much about the magic, is it? It's more about the real life kind of here and now aspect of
And
Christmas.
I also feel like it didn't have like a set moral or story or whatever behind it. There was a whole heap of like stories going in throughout the whole thing, which I think is really good.
Yeah, no, definitely, I 100% agree. There was no like the messages you have to believe to believe, or
it's all about
even
family, or you have to be good on Christmas,
exactly.
and like
It was just a guy who was really unhappy with Christmas because he got dumped at Christmas, and then he learns to love it through just being around children and having good memories to outweigh the bad.
Is it? I think what made it so enjoyable and special for me is the fact that it did have this large ensemble of children just being kids, and the enjoyment, like their happiness, is kind of what made us happy as viewers.
Well, Dad almost said it's almost like the movie's about like the kids on Christmas Day. Like it's about not making them happy, but them being happy on Christmas Day. They get excited about it, and I feel like in the real world, when we see if we ever have kids, but if we see our kids happy, it makes us happy as like parents.
Yeah, 100%. Maddie, you were talking before we started recording about the scene with the Christmas letters.
Oh, I was crying almost when all the kids were like, I just want everyone in the world to be happy, and I want Mr. Madden to get his girlfriend back. I was like, oh, this is so pure. You know what I mean? To be like, when I was a kid, I don't know what you guys would like wish for Christmas. I would always write on my Christmas list, I wish for world peace. I don't know why that's such a kid thing to just want everyone to be happy in the world, but it's so pure and so loving.
I wanted an action man.
You would, you selfish prick.
Yeah, no, there was an action man you could get, and its skin changed colour when you put it in the water.
That's racist.
Yeah, it was a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, Amy, did you ever have those Barbies that could swim in water?
No. No, I had those. Did you ever have those like Polly Pockets? And then
Yes, I loved Polly
I mean,
Pocket.
it was kind of the same line as what Josh was saying, but you like put it in the water and then its hair changed colour. It was like
No,
a
I
mermaid.
never got those ones. No, I was not rich enough for those ones.
Wait.
Dear.
Do you ever go on the Polly Pocket website? That was the
my
best
God,
website.
Yes. Oh, okay.
Yes,
I'm
okay,
also
come
gonna take
over
it
and we'll
down
go and we'll
a
play.
really gross path. But did you ever like chew the clothes?
Yes! Yes, I did!
Me too.
I genuinely have no idea what's happening right now.
Because you're a 28-year-old male, you don't understand us. Yes, I would chew the clothes. I really want to ring my sister right now and ask her if she also did that, because I'm pretty sure we both
I'm
did.
pretty sure every girl who had a Polly Pocket chewed its clothes.
Oh, what the fuck is wrong with us?
I have no idea what to say.
Good times.
Do you think that Mr. Poppy going into the farm animals and rolling around with all the pigs and the goats made him more susceptible to COVID?
I knew you were gonna say. No, I think the children are more susceptible than anything. They're the most vulnerable, aren't they?
Which kid would die?
You know it's Bob, though, that little one.
He's too skinny.
He's
He
too
doesn't have enough
skinny.
meat
It
on
would
the
just
bone.
consume him.
He's the tiny Timmy of this movie. Do you think that... So moving forward, and I guess looking at the movies we have watched, and I think thinking about the movies we are going to watch, Do you think that the ones that are going to bring us the most enjoyment need to have kids in them?
I don't know. I don't know if it needs to have kids or... Yeah, I don't know. Maybe, like, because it's a bit different to the ones we've watched, that's why I preferred it.
Yeah, right. What do you think, Amy? Do you think that kids need to be in a Christmas film in order for it to be special?
Well, I guess it depends on what the movie's about. Like, I mean, I guess if it has, like, Santa Claus and, like, all that stuff, like, that's not really associated with adults. So I guess children need to be in it in that sense. But I don't think children need to be in it for it to be a good Christmas film. Like, yeah, I think with this film, it was filmed in a particular way, and they were the stars of the show or whatever. So it was good, and I think it really added to the movie. But yeah, they don't need to be in the movie in another movie.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Kids are genuinely funny as well. Like, they come up with the weirdest, funniest things.
And they don't try.
No.
It's just genuinely funny. The one thing I did want to talk about, talking about kind of kids, and was the actual, I guess, nativity play itself. When we got to the last part of the film and they did the actual nativity play, what do you guys think of that section? There were lots of Christmas songs. So this movie obviously has a tick for singing Christmas songs.
But
what
they
did you
were
think of the
written
actual
for the
play?
movie. All the songs were written for the movie, and I loved it. I love that we got to actually watch the play. I thought they weren't going to let us watch it, and they were just going to do like a montage or something. But the fact that we got to watch the whole thing, I loved it.
Yeah. What do you think about the kid coming from the sky?
The death slide.
The death slide.
It was very funny.
I feel like the best bit was when his mum fainted. She's like, what the fuck is going on?
It was such a payoff that whole time. They were like, death slide, and then they finally like did it.
Amazing. I also really loved the curtain call at the end, where they actually got all the main players throughout the movie to come on stage and take a bow. I felt like that was such a theatre thing to do, such an acknowledgement. But I felt like it was really heartwarming. Like, I felt like doing that kind of forgave all the troubles and issues that he had with Gordon throughout the film. Like, it felt like they made amends.
Yeah.
With that one kind of gesture.
Yeah. And I think it
was... Oh, sorry, you go.
I was just going to say, I think it kind of adds to the whole theme we were talking about. It was like a theatre show, because it was like the final call. Everyone bowed and everything. Yeah,
definitely.
They alluded to it in the movie, but I wanted to get your opinions on it. Do you think that Gordon was in love with Jennifer?
I think so.
Yeah. I think he planted the seeds in her to make her go to Hollywood and leave Martin Freeman's character.
I would agree that and like that you actually bring up a really good point. That was actually another part of the movie that I really enjoyed. The slow reveals of kind of what happened to make her go overseas. The fact that they didn't give it all away at once, or they didn't hang on to it right to the end. They just gave it away in little pieces all throughout the movie, so you kind of pieced it together yourself. And I thought that was really
showing,
really
not telling.
Yeah, exactly right. And I think that's another thing that maybe a lot of American movies don't do well, is that they will show and not... I mean, they will tell and not show, as opposed to...
And also, I feel like with doing that, it's kind of having two sides of the story. It's like got the kids over this side and their story and everything, but then it's also got a bit for adults as well. So it's like relating to two different ages of people.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I would be really interested to see if kids watching this film would enjoy it. I would assume they would, but I wonder if they would enjoy it, say, more so than some of the other films that we've watched.
We need to get a kid so we can just, like, test all these theories. Anyone got a spare child they could give us just for this segment?
A question that we seem to have given Luke as a segment is who we would be if we were characters in this film.
I've already told you, Josh is Bob, the little kid. Yeah.
Why am I Bob?
Because he's like, oh, get in! And just like sick breakdancing moves. And I think that's Josh.
I do have sick breakdancing moves.
It's true. I think this isn't to be rude. I think that Luke would be, or either Josh or Luke, could go either way, is the main character, Mr. Madden. Purely like the cynicism of Christmas. Josh said about halfway through the movie, he's like, am I the cynical one? Like, this is wonderful. Like, am I being too cynical about Christmas?
Well, I had this realization, and potentially it's going to be interesting to map it as the rest of this podcast goes on. But I feel like by watching all these Christmas movies, I'm actually starting to like Christmas. I know.
It's happening.
It's like the movies are a movie. Like it's
You're the main character, Josh.
I'm player one. No, I'm not. Maddie, if you were someone in the movie, you would be
The principal.
Oh my
Yes.
God, yes.
She's a bit loose. Got a bit drunk, poured chocolate all over herself. That could be me. And she's like, look at my sick dancing moves. And also I'm the aunt in Harry Potter, so it's great.
Oh, she's so good. Who would Amy be?
Mr. Poppy.
Oh my God, yes.
Because you're
She
so
loves
happy
Christmas.
all the time. And so, I don't know.
I like that.
I would be him.
Yeah, see, there you
Nothing
go.
wrong with him.
Okay, so to kind of come to the end of, I guess, this part of the podcast, let's go around the room. Do you like the movie? And would you watch it again? Maddie, do you want to go first?
I loved the movie. I would definitely watch it again. Nothing else. I'm keen for number 2 now. Like, I know there's 2 more after number 2, so there's 4 altogether. Like, I would be opposed to watching them all.
Yeah, I haven't actually. I think I've only watched 1 and 2. For some reason, I remember number 2 the most, but I won't give away what I remember. But yeah, I haven't.
Is it good?
Yes, it is. It's exactly.
Oh, I'm keen.
But yeah, I've never watched. I don't know why I haven't watched 3 or 4. But I'm like Maddie. I'd actually be willing to watch all of them.
It's
Yeah.
like Home Alone, isn't it? The more that goes on, you're just kind of like, oh, does it need to keep going on? But I'd be interested to see where number 2 goes and then also where that goes afterwards.
What about you, Amy? Do you like the film and would you watch it again?
I'm the same as Maddie. I actually love the film and I would definitely watch it again.
Nice.
What about you, Josh?
Yeah, 100%. I think that I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this is my favourite movie of the movies that we've watched so far. I think it's going to be hard to top, to be completely honest. I don't know. It'll be interesting. There's a lot of movies on this list I still haven't watched, so it's going to be exciting. But yeah, definitely I like the movie and I would definitely watch it again.
Well, speaking of how much we like the movies, I guess we should rank them out of 10. I'll go with Amy tonight because you can start first.
What are we ranking them with? Like 10 what?
10 Christmas hats out of 10. Come on. You should be up with this by now.
10 reindeer?
No, 10 Christmas hats. Amy, I'm going to start with you first because Josh's answer was way too long-winded last night. How many Christmas hats would you give this movie out of 10?
Okay, so this may be a very big call, but I think I'm going to rate it 10 out of 10.
Whoa!
Like, would
we
you-
did it! Ding,
Huge.
ding, ding. Higher than the Polar Express.
Yes.
Whoa!
I forgot you gave Polar Express 10 out of 10. No, what'd you give Polar Express?
9.
9? Oh, Amy. Mate. Oh.
But yes, 10 out of 10. I think I just love the kids and I loved like the different stories in it. I love Bob, he's the best. I just love everything about it. It was so good.
Very nice. What about you, Josh? How many Christmas hats out of 10?
I think I'm going to give it 9.5 out of 10. I don't know if I'm ever going to give something 10 out of 10 because I fear that if I give something 10 out of 10 and then something comes along that I love even more, then I don't know what I'm going to do. So
Well,
I'm
you
going to
can
give
get
it
it
9.5
11 out of 10.
Yeah, really enjoyed this movie, and I can't see much else topping it, to be completely honest. Yeah, it was perfect, in my opinion.
I am also going to give it a 10 out of 10. Touchdown, baby. Touchdown. I don't care. I will give something a 13 out of 10 if it gets better. I don't care about decimals or fractions.
Wow. So does that mean, I'm just going to take a stab and say out of all of our top fives, this is number one on all of our lists, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do we want to take a stab and guess where this would be on Luke's list? Because I'm going to say he's going to give it a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think it'll be Christmassy enough for him.
he watched the trailer last night and he said he really liked it, but he said he thinks it looks interesting. But, like, I feel like this type of comedy might be more Luke's type of comedy. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't think he...
More so than Deck the Halls.
I think he doesn't really... Like, he's probably going to... He's listening to this right now, but he doesn't like the American, like, comedy, like Deck the Halls. But I think this type of comedy he would like, I think.
I think you're very similar, Josh, aren't you? Very British humour. It's kind of the best kind of humour.
Well, yeah, I've always been a fan of British stuff and the way it's kind of shot and the way it's written, but I think that's because it feels more relatable. I think American stuff, like we mentioned a couple of times, American stuff feels really perfect and kind of unobtainable. Very fake, very plastic, and there's nothing funny about that.
That's Hollywood, baby.
Yeah, that's it.
So really, they shouldn't have even invited Hollywood to the show because then they would have made it shit.
Exactly right.
They would have. Oh, mate. Look, fantastic. Guys, we do have a mailbag question.
Amy's got another segment.
Oh,
Thank
apologies.
you, sir.
I apologise. We've got more
Wow.
segments. Amy, please, I do apologise.
I've got a good one. Well, I think I've got a good one. Actually, it kind of relates to the story. So, did you know that Jesus wasn't actually born on the 25th of December?
What?
Wait, actually?
Yeah, the United Church of God predicts that the rough dates he was born was between the 13th and the 17th of June.
Oh my God, are you telling me he's a
Wait,
Gemini and not a Capricorn?
Yeah.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked.
Well, why are we celebrating Christmas
So
then?
they decide to have Christmas Day on the same day as a pagan holiday celebrating the winter solstice, which runs between the 17th and the 25th of December. And according to an author named William Walsh, Christians chose the 25th of December as a day to celebrate Jesus' birth to try convert the pagans to Christianity.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure the pagan holiday is Yule, right?
I think so, yeah. I don't know.
There
I'm
you go.
just shook that Jesus is not a Capricorn and a Gemini.
That's...
That two-faced bitch.
Oh
He
my
was a
God.
great communicator, though. It makes a lot of sense. He did have 12 men follow him around all day. Fair enough. Really got his message across to people.
What a guy.
I wonder what his moon is.
And before we get into any of that, we're going to jump straight into the mailbag section. I did receive an email here. I'll be honest, it's completely sus, but I'm going to read it out just for Amy's sake, and we'll see what happens here. Hello, Christmas and Chill. My name is Maddie. In brackets, a different one. And I'm loving the podcast. I have a question for you, gang. If you were all each other, who would you all be? Keep up the good work.
Okay.
Thank you, definitely not Maddie on this podcast.
It wasn't me. It wasn't. Stop laughing at me.
I mean, I saw her writing it last night. So.
You're a liar. You're in different houses.
All right. Well, look,
What a wonderful question, though. What a very smart question.
Good question. I reckon that's a very,
what does
very
the
good
question even mean? What is even the
So
question?
I'm going to start
if
off
we were all
and
each
say
other,
that I would be Maddie.
Oh my god, I was going to say I would be Amy.
I mean, we both.
Actually, I would be Luke so I could date Amy.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I would be Josh.
No, you have to be someone else.
I would be Maddie.
Why would anyone want to be me? That is the question I'm asking.
I don't have to move. It's simple. All my stuff's here anyway. So
I thought because I sit on the couch all day, I thought that was a rib at me.
that's a bonus.
Oh,
Oh, fantastic.
we have fun.
Guys, thank you so much for making it to the end of another podcast. How you are still listening, I do not know.
Amy, I forgot to tell you, we have listeners in Canada and Spain and more in Italy.
Wow.
We love our international friends.
Wow.
Yes, we do love our international friends. Please share it around, share the love, but also our friends back home in Australia too. And if you're listening to this for the first time on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or YouTube and you want to know more about us, you can find us on Instagram at Christmas and Chill Podcast. You can also find us on Facebook at Christmas and Chill. Tune in tomorrow because we're going to be watching I'll Be Home for Christmas.
Oh, this was Josh's pick. No one else wanted to watch it.
It's an old Disney movie. It's quality.
It's got
Probably.
young Simba, isn't it? What's his name?
Yeah, what's his... I can never remember his name. Jen Tyler Thomas Taylor. He was also in Home Improvement with Tim Allen.
I can't remember his name.
But yes, we'll be watching that. But yes, tomorrow, if you do have any questions, you can send us an email, mailbag.chrismasandchillpodcast@gmail.com.
It's Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Thank you, Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Is there anything else you girls would like to say before we finish it up for the day?
You go, Amy.
I was just going to say that I don't know if Luke is going to get around to recording anything, but if he does, it's going to be playing next.
We'll just put it at the end. We'll just put it in at the end.
We'll cut it right there.
Hi, podcast. It is me, Luke. I have just finished watching Nativity. I really thought this movie was quite delightful. I thought Nativity was really, really good. Martin Freeman is one of my favorite actors, so I was so glad to see him. But the biggest thing I found about this movie that I really loved was the kids. The love story with him and Jennifer is really quite nice as well. A little hokey in bits and pieces, but I thought it was quite nice. The substitute teacher, I've forgotten his name now, but he was interesting. I probably was a bit too, I'm a bit, not mentally there. It was a bit weird. He was in the mind of a child, which makes sense, but I think it felt a little insensitive, but maybe that's just me. I'm not criticizing him or what he did, but overall, I think the fact that it's British made it a ton better than some of the other movies that I've watched so far. I was pleasantly surprised. This was a movie that's actually got into my top 5. How many Christmas hats would I give it out of 10? I'd actually give it an 8. It's really up there. It would be a movie that I'd like to watch again next year. If I could choose to be one of the characters, if I was one of the adults, I'd like to be Martin Freeman, because I think I fit with him the most. But if I was one of the kids, I kind of wish I was the boy who plays Joseph. I feel like my personality and the way I would feel as a kid would be very similar to his. So, yeah, I'll be able to be on the podcast tomorrow, and I'll see you guys later.
Fantastic.
Wait, I didn't get to say what I wanted to say.
Okay, what did you want to say, Maddie?
Just I hope everyone is doing well.
And have a Merry Christmas.
It's not Christmas yet, Amy. Calm down.
Yeah, but we could say
Dude, we've
it
got
already.
so many more podcasts
We've got so many.
before Christmas.
We've got
Okay,
so
so
many
on the
Christmas movies to
24th.
watch.
Of December, we're allowed to say Merry Christmas.
Yes.
No. We will not be saying Christmas.
Happy holidays.
And a Happy New Year.
Happy Hanukkah, everyone.
Mazel tov, everybody.
Kwanzaa, my dude. All right, guys. We'll catch you tomorrow.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.